For a second there, we didn't have any video, but we're back. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Great to see all of you. I hope you're doing well. We are looking at the week ahead. And what we're going to be focusing on in this weekly collective is basically a chance for all of us to navigate through twists, turns, opportunities. And you chose one of my favorite topics today, which is basically letting the guides come through with real talk, which means we'll be much more direct in what the messages are. Not that I normally am not direct, but sometimes we may be afraid to look at certain things. And one of the things that we'll do today is to approach anything that is murky or anything that is kind of bringing up some of those feelings with a sense of empowerment, like we can do this. And the guides will be there to have our back. Okay? So I've put a goal, but I'm going to have to probably redo it because I didn't put enough time. But we can always extend and look at one of the other topics. So if that expires, I may do it at the midpoint. And then we can always look at one of the topics that didn't win. That's something new that I'm doing towards the end of this year to make sure that we're getting coverage on all topics. And I think sometimes it's fun to do the highest and then the lowest. So we'll see what happens if we have enough time and interest. But in the meantime, let's get into channeled messages. So as I was getting ready and meditating and preparing today's reading, one thing just kept coming through to my mind, which was this image of a train station. And I had this constant feeling of, well, two things. One, am I going to get there? The other one is, where am I going? So like sometimes we're in a hurry to go nowhere. If I had to put the sort of like two pieces together, and in this moment, as we are entering into December tomorrow, believe it or not, we just have a month left. I think it's important to just do a little bit of internal compass and wayfinding and deciding, do I like where I'm at? Where actually do I want to go? And it's not just a matter of like what's expected of you. It's what do I need? What do I want on a soul level? And I've said this before, but it bears repeating. You know, when we are children, we're given that chance a lot more. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or, you know, who are your heroes? What inspires you? I think some of what we do here on these weekly collectives, I'm here every Sunday, is to try to get back to that ability to dream, to check in, and to make sure that we're not just hopping on one train ride to another, not knowing where we're going. Because you can travel at great speeds, you can get to another destination, but if you're not getting closer to your wherever it is that you're trying to go, it's just movement. So we're out of retrograde, thank goodness. So let's make sure that we're actually moving forward. I think that's the big thing today. Can we get realigned? So this is a nice post-retrograde kind of like snapping into the grid and making sure that you're okay. And as we look at the specifically the special topic today, I think that's one of the things that the guides can do to give us a little gentle nudge in the right direction, okay? So I'm looking at chat here, and the cool thing is it doesn't matter if you're 7 or 77 or 57. We are constantly allowed to make decisions to go in a new direction. It never stops. You never stop growing up. Wouldn't it be cool instead of saying like you're getting older, you're just growing up, we could just keep saying that I'm constantly growing up, because that's the truth. The soul is evolving, the soul is changing, and we're always going one step further. We just don't get the grades anymore. That's the difference. So let's get moving here in that vein, and we're going to take a look at a 7-day forecast. If you just joined again, here's the order of things. We'll do the 7-day forecast, an elemental check-in, then we'll get into that special topic. And if time and interest allows, I will look at maybe a bonus thing at the end. And again, if I don't get enough time in this goal, I'll reset it with maybe a lower threshold and make sure that we can do that. Okay, 7-day forecast. Let me see which deck of cards I'd like to use. While I'm doing that, if you like what you see here, please hit the thumbs up. Apollo just popped in, so we'll say hello to my furry friend. Many of you ask. I only show him if he's in the background. He just ate some food, and he's cleaning his face right now. Let's give him a little pat on the head. Hey, buddy. That's a good boy. I know. Life is so complicated for you, isn't it? All right. Let's see. Actually, we may do a black and white deck today. All right. Let's get started. I recently repurchased this. It's an old black and white deck that's kind of fun. So close your eyes for a moment. Let's tune in. Let go of any sort of fear, anxiety, or questions that might be in your head. And just see that you're in a circle of bright light. If it's a foggy day like it is here in LA, imagine that there's a circle of candles around you, illuminating and protecting you, and then welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. We had one card just flip out of the deck, 2 of Pentacles for today. All right, I don't always use black and white, but sometimes it's fun to do so. So today is a day where we're going to go a little bit deeper with these cards. Okay, we're going to start off with the energy of today. Let me just get the graphic ready. We'll focus on Sunday. I feel like this card has made an appearance time and again, 2 of Pentacles, choices. I like the way that this one is illustrated because what we can see here is someone putting themselves in 2 potential timelines and deciding, how would I feel over here? How about this? Which one provides more balance? Which provides more sustenance? And that is often what the 2 of Pentacles is, weighing a choice. It also is, of course, at face value, a reminder not to overspend or overextend. So today, with your schedule, you can say no. And in fact, you probably should if you're feeling tired or that you just don't want to do something. When it comes to your budget, I know that there's an artificial manufactured spend right now where it's like, you know, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all these things. Ask yourself as you're looking at those purchases, do I really need this? Is it really a sale? Because I've been watching some TikToks where sometimes they raise the price or just put an artificial, they raise it and then reduce it and it's the same as it was before. So don't get caught up in the seasonal purchasing. We also have holidays like Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of this stuff coming up. Quality over quantity, and really ask yourself, do we need this? Is it going to make a difference? And then focus on experiences. Like one thing as I get older, it's about shared experiences, something that's really going to make an impact or a difference in my life. And a lot of times I just think to myself, I don't need this. Budgeting. Planning. That's a great thing to do when the 2 of Pentacles comes through. Where do I want to put my time and energy? So it's all of those things. It's not just like you don't have enough money. It's more like choices and priorities and long-term sort of goals and weighing things out. It's one of, I'm trying to think in my head really quick, there's like 3 cards maybe that have balance energy into it. Of course, justice with the scales. The scales make an appearance in the 6 of Pentacles. And the person in the 2 of Pentacles doesn't even have the scales. They're just out of balance. So find your center today. Ground yourself. Meditate. Eat well, sleep well, exercise. And that is going to help bring you back into, snapping you into the grid, okay? All right. Let's move on to the beginning of the week. So for the energy of Monday, we have 6 of Swords. So this is the movement. It's time to take action. If there's something that you've been waiting to commence, if there's something where you've been procrastinating and thinking, I don't know, one of these days I'll get started, Monday's the day to do that. This is a great day for travel. It's a good day to send a message out there. So imagine like a carrier pigeon. It's also a great time to meet someone halfway. If you're having a difficult time getting someone's attention or getting someone to sign on the dotted line, meet them where they're at or meet in a neutral central place for the 2 of you. So travel, movement, commencement, release is another part of 6 of Swords. It is, it's the point at which you're finally moving on. So if we look at the release cards in tarot, death is the change when it happens and it hits you really intensely. 4 of Swords, you're putting it to rest. 6 of Swords, you're moving forward. Judgment, you're on the other side almost. So they're all different phases of grief or movement or change. This is one of the easier and better ones because it's almost like once I start walking or start rowing or start moving myself, momentum takes me half of the way. So like waking up in the morning, you hit snooze a certain amount of times and then you're like, I just have to get up. And you go and splash some cold water on your face or take a shower or drink some water, some coffee. And that also kind of wakes you up. So just do something to initiate. Put the key in the ignition, and that is going to help you. That's the hardest part. Have someone nudge you if you need some help too. Thankfully, for those of you that have dogs like I do, he's so cute right now. They will sometimes be the nudge that you need because they have to go to the bathroom or they're hungry in the morning, and they'll nuzzle you out of bed. So if you don't have a dog, find something else in your life that gives you that sense of, all right, it's not about me. I got to get out of my headspace, okay? Let's move on to the energy of Tuesday. Tuesday is a little bit of healing and also a nudge for you to not get pulled into something where you're not supported. So, Five of Pentacles. Oftentimes, we are conditioned to think we have to do something even though it doesn't sustain. Today, you're kind of awakening to the understanding that something might not be enough, right? And then as we look at Tuesday, it really isn't feeling right for you either. So there could be a relationship where you're always over-delivering, but you're never getting supported. You're working at a job, you're not getting given what you need as far as, either money or growth or support, or there's something else that you're putting your time into and it just isn't paying off. This doesn't mean you have to immediately leave. You don't even have to leave, but you have to address what that is and find the balance, because the next card is Six of Pentacles, which is the scales. So this is your second recalibration moment. Something isn't enough. It isn't good enough. It isn't sustaining for you, and it's okay to speak up. This can also be a trigger from the past where something didn't work, and now you're starting to learn that that was just that moment or that person, and that you are worthy, more worthy than you may give yourself credit for, okay? So advocate for more, cut ties with people, places, or things that don't reciprocate time and again. And in doing so, you're going to free up your attention span. You're going to free up some of it's the stress that you're putting into your body too by worrying about things. And by doing this, you can lean back into this energy, which is, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to move on. I have the wind beneath my sails because I'm the one that's providing that push. When you stop being the wind in everyone else's sails, you can move forward. And I think that's what Tuesday is about. You can say no. You can ask for more. You can set an expectation and give people a chance to meet it. And if not, you can move in a new direction. Okay? All right, let's move on to the middle of the week. Three of Wands. So you can definitely tell that we're out of retrograde. No reversals. We have a couple of movement cards. The energy's shifting. It's going in a positive direction. So Three of Wands. I love this Three of Wands. He is at the shore meeting the ship. And you know that it bothers me in the traditional one. I'm probably one of the few. I'm like, why is he all the way up there? And why isn't he doing something to get a little closer to the incoming opportunity? So my question was answered with this illustration. He's right there, and he's saying, I see it, I want it, I'm going to be the early bird, and this is something that I'm ready for. This is a day for proactive energy to get ahead of the movement, and again, to show interest. Sometimes we are passive and we just expect something to come to us. And this one is very much, you know what, I'm at the shore, I'm ready. Okay, it's a great day for travel. Possibly even better than Monday because things are just going to click, fewer delays, more connections, all of that is good. Three of Wands is also a great day to begin. This is, if I had to put like an adjective with this, it's now, like right here, right now to describe it. Because sometimes we wonder, can I do this? Will it happen? When should I start? All of this, all of those sort of things are answered with the one word, right now, right here. There's a reminder with this card to make sure that you're looking in all directions and dimensions and that you're not missing something, okay? Speaking of right now, Apollo wants some more food, so I'm going to grab that for him and then we're going to move onward. And I have a couple more things to say about this. Oh, you have food, buddy. Sorry. He just wants more snacks. All right, let's get back into this here. The other thing with Three of Wands is it's a good day to launch stuff. So that ship in the background shows that you can launch or send something out into the world. It can be in the format of a letter, an email, a text, or a phone call. Things will start to move quickly. Take action, okay? It's a call to action for sure. Now let's take a look at Thursday. For Thursday, we have the King of Swords, one of my favorite King of Swords illustrations here. He is not sitting on the throne. He is taking action, speaking up, and look at that beautiful sun rising right above his crown chakra. Show and share what it is that you have in your mind. That's one of the cool things about the King of Swords. Like King of Pentacles, he's cooking up something new. He's creating something, but he might not be communicating it. And King of Wands, also thinking of something new. All of the other ones are like in an incubation phase, but he's very much in an action phase. So you can communicate in a written form, you can take action, you can speak up, you can collaborate, cooperate, communicate what's going on. So speaking of that, Apollo's doing all of the above. So we're going to give him a little snack in the background. All right, buddy. Please don't eat something that's not yours. One thing that's funny with pets, Apollo will just randomly go and grab like something, like a piece of dust or a random piece of plastic or something. He's like, Dad, you're not feeding me. He has food. They're funny. But he just showed us another way of communicating, which is through actions. So that's actually how dogs are going to communicate to you because they don't have language, not in the same way that we do. So pay attention to nonverbal communication skills and walk the walk, talk the talk. People are going to hold you to your own actions. Do you follow through on what you're preaching, or are they just words? So actions speak louder than words, but you need a combination of the two, okay? All right, he's fine. We'll give him another snack if he needs it. Trust me, he's not starving. He's playing me. But because I'm trying to focus on the reading, we'll allow it right now. All right, let's go to Friday. Love this. You know, a lot of times there is a frustration in the Four of Wands because what you want hasn't come through. And this is saying it's wish fulfillment takes time sometimes, especially if you are discerning, and particularly when we're looking at relationships. So the Four of Wands represents a substantial relationship in your life or substantial connection, one that can go the distance. When you're not picky, you can just go out and connect with anybody, as a friend, as a colleague, as a lover. But when you're picky, it takes a little bit more time because there's an alignment happening. And it's all about synchronicities. The other person has to get through their stuff, you have to get through yours, and then the connection happens. We can also look at this as a foundational card. So in your life, you could be setting the stage for a wish to come true. Whether it's, I want to have greater resources or greater support or better mental health or whatever it is that you're doing. Each day you set the stage, you put those 4 tent poles in place, and then your wish comes true. You have to make a wish too and articulate it to the universe so that can come true. One thing that's kind of interesting, and there's a lot of things that we're taught that I think, what the heck is going on? Make a wish, but don't tell anyone. Baloney. You in real life, you have to tell people what you want sometimes, especially in a job. Like, let's say you want a certain thing for career advancement. You need to tell your boss, I'm interested in this. What do we need to do? You can't just sit there, blow out your candles, and wait for them to read your mind. So it isn't that way. Because here's why not speaking your wish into existence is silly. Thoughts are the initial act or the spark of creation. That's you turning the ignition. When you communicate it, that is like, what's the best word? That's kind of like when all the things are firing in a car and you're getting ready to create the action. And then, of course, when you start doing things, that's the actual like movement of the wheels. But you can't ignore the importance of communication. Writing it down, speaking it out, putting it out into the world. Otherwise, it's stuck here. So let's throw out that idea that you can't speak your wish. You should speak your wish out loud. I talked about healing and how I talk to my body and tell it to let go of things so that I don't have pain now in my wrist. The inflammation's going down. The hearing is returned. But it was a 6 or 8 week process of me repeating things to my body. I had to talk out loud as well as in my head. And I had to talk to doctors too, like, why isn't this working? I want this. I need this. I wasn't sitting there blowing out my candles, wishing in silence for things to be better. We have to talk. So let's start speaking our wishes into existence. Friday's a good day to do that with the people that you trust. This is a trusted small circle card, a best friend, a mentor, a teacher, a doctor that you trust, someone that you know can listen and can help you fulfill your wish. Wishes left unspoken aren't going to go anywhere. Speak it out loud. You can light a candle, you can blow it out, but why? Actually, if you're trying to manifest, a small votive, let it burn out. But so we shouldn't really blow out the candle, and you definitely need to talk. We're being taught incorrect use of candle magic, and we're not being taught correctly with manifestation. So speak it out loud. It will set the wish free. It will bring it into existence. Okay? The only time you don't share your wish is if you don't trust the person. This is a great day for dates, for meetings, for speaking things into existence, and for laying new foundations. Friday is powerful, folks. I like this deck. It's good. When I moved, I had to let go of everything, and I'm like, why don't I have this? I put it on a wish list. It never happened. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this one again because it's very cool the way. Looks like you're looking at a story with this one. All right, let's go back to Saturday. Next Saturday upcoming. We have the Justice card. You have all but the Six of Swords, not Six of Swords, but the Six of Pentacles. So you have two balance cards here. This one is the making of the decision. The scales are in her eye, in her iris. Can you see them right there? So there's always scales in this card. And Justice is often at the precipice of the choice. Like, I'm choosing or I choose. So decision time. You'll either make the choice by the end of the day or you will have spoken it and acted upon it. This is also sometimes when people are coming to you and saying, how do you feel? What do you want? What should we do? This is a great day to talk to an expert, particularly a legal expert. This is a great day to also look at what's bringing imbalance or a lack of support in your life and deciding, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? So where there is imbalance, fix it. When a decision needs to be made, make that decision. And if an expert needs to be reached out to, this is the day to talk to someone, particularly when it comes to contracts. Get someone else to take a look at that, okay? And moving 1 week from today, fantastic energy next Sunday, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming forth. And this is someone who is breathing life into something, moving the wheel, not stationary. So if you notice, now that we've gone in post-Mercury retrograde sort of energy, it is active, proactive, upright, moving sort of energy. Get your hands in the mix of things. So if there's something that you really want to do, you roll up your sleeves, and it's like you're in the kitchen cooking something, or you're in the garden planting something. It's time to create. This is a good day to talk about money, to look at plans, to look at your expenditures, and to focus on setting forward like a new, it's almost like a new cycle. The TV game show Wheel of Fortune, named after the Wheel of Fortune here. What did they have to do? They had to spin. Sometimes it was the host, sometimes it was them, but a lot of times they had to spin the wheel. And so in everyday life, sometimes we have to get to the wheel of our car or whatever and drive. And so this is you deciding, and this is you driving. And so next weekend is a really powerful moment. And it's like the first week, well, because this is technically the last weekend of November, so this will be the 1st of December. It's your last chance to get things moving before the year is up. And it's not in a way of like making it feel like there's pressure. You can get stuff done. December is, especially the first couple weeks, don't sleep on it. I didn't even want to, I'm moving on the 22nd of December. That wasn't necessarily my choice. That was when it was available and how long I could hold the apartment. So 2 days before the holidays, I'll be moving. But I've often had pivotal changes happen in my life. New jobs, new places of living, new people coming in. Things happen. For me, actually, between October and December. Those are very busy months, sometimes even into January. So for me, fall and winter ends up being massive, and it sets into motion the way the next year looks for me. So yes, we're in the cold and dreary months. Yes, things may not seem to be moving, but beneath the surface they are. You know, it's foggy or it's snowy or it's rainy, but the trees are still drinking in all of that energy. You too can be making progress even if it's not being shown above the surface. All right, we're going to take a couple moments here to look at highlights and challenges for this week. Thankfully, it's a pretty good week. We'll start with the challenges and we'll move to the highlights just because we can. Okay. Challenges today, honestly, Two of Pentacles. Making Two of Pentacles and possibly even next Saturday, making choices. Those are the hard moments for you. I think that the most challenging day is probably Tuesday because there's a lack of support. Ask for more if you need more. The rest of the week is pretty bright. I actually love these three cards. So Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands, and Wheel of Fortune. Because this is manifestation, this is support, and this is money, opportunities, and a new shift or movement. But the rest of the week is fine. It's very hard to pick low points this week. I feel like we're finally getting through the challenge and starting to see some changes come forth. Okay. Let's go ahead now and get into the next portion of this reading, which is going to be the elemental breakdown, where we look at fire, earth, air, and water. I guess I'll leave these up here. I forgot about that. Let's do that. So let me just create better balance here. A little bit of room for me. Okay, and let's see which deck I'd like to use. And while we do that, we'll pull Apollo up in the background. Hey, buddy. I know. Such a good boy. Okay. Let's shuffle the cards here and look at fire, earth, air, and water. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay, couple uprights, couple reversals. We'll start off with fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have strength. It is actually in the upright position. Interestingly enough, this card, it doesn't really matter if it's upright or reversed. But what we're looking at here is, I'm double checking. No, this was reversed. I'm sorry. With it in reverse, we have the sort of animal pushing back. And I always mention with strength, I had to look at my monitor. I'm like, it was reversed. With the strength card in the traditional illustration, it's a card where you're going to get diminishing returns in the long run. You can once or twice maybe get the lion not to bite your hand, but eventually it fights back. So there may be something where you're putting too much effort into getting someone to do what they said they were going to do, getting someone to speak up, to listen, to agree with you. And now, in this illustration, see what's happening? It's fighting back. It's not a lion, it's like a cheetah or something else here, but you get the purpose here, or the vision. This is what I always warn of with strength. It's not always going to look like this. You may still have that energy of everything's fine, everything's working, but it's exhausting. And is it worth the struggle? So there's something in your life where you've got it under control for now, but as we look at the next year, because it's not that far away, it's like 4 weeks away, you have to ask yourself, do I really want to be here like 12 months from now, or 12 weeks, or 12 days? Because I'm tired of this. So you can start to pivot and make better choices. This can also just be fatigue, making sure that you're taking care of your health. Are you sleeping enough? Are you putting the right kinds of things in your body? Making smart choices is going to be really important in this period of time, particularly the physical body. So I'll be doing the last two signs today, by the way, Aries and Taurus. But I've been mentioning in the last 4 signs that I was doing that I had to stop. My body wouldn't allow me to do what my mind wanted me to do, which was frustrating. And I just had to listen to my body. So if you're finding yourself in a place where I was for the past 8 weeks, you have to listen to your body. If you don't take a break, there'll be nothing. There'll be nothing that you can do. So you have to take care of your health, mental and physical, but primarily physical. There is a breaking point for each and every one of us. We are not machines. Our body ages, our body needs support. We get tired, take care of yourself. The strength card is speaking up to that. There could also be someone in your life that is a control freak. They like to come in and micromanage or helicopter in, and they make you second guess yourself. They may be trying to get you to agree. So if we flip the script on this, this is you're the animal saying, I don't think so. I didn't agree to that. I don't want that. I'm tired of you trying to boss me around, control me, and having this sort of leash around me? No. So you're going to speak up. You can simply come through and say no. Strength works that way too. So look at things that are exhausting and not worth the energy. Pay attention to your health and know your limits. And if there's someone or something in your life where you've had enough, speak up. They're both powerful. The one thing that I like in modern interpretations of this card is you can see the two on equal footing. And they're both there to keep each other in check. She's like, I don't need to take this from you. I'm just as strong. And the animal is like, yes, but also I need to follow my instincts. So they're showing like two different sides of the equation, and there's room for both opinions. So I like it when we move beyond the domination energy, which is there, but sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good to fight. Pick and choose the battles wisely, okay? Ultimately, strength is exactly what it says. You have what it takes, but you may be called to take action or to push back this week. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you can do it. Look at her hair. I love that it looks like a flame. So find your fire, pick your moment, push back if you need to. You've got this. On to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So we had the King of Swords energy coming through, and it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was Thursday. So we actually get a time marker for you. This is the day to articulate. This is the day to speak up. And as we looked at the alternate version, it may be the day to stand up, because that's what he's doing. He's off of his throne and he's saying, hey, wait a second. Let's talk about this. Your communication is going to be one of your best assets this week. Because you're Earth, you can ground it in facts, information, and practicality. Where the King of Swords is sometimes just speaking, you can pull in those important pieces, use data to kind of like fuel the energy behind your communication. Listening is also really important. So hold space, create a safe space where people can talk to you and listen. Look at the crown on this particular king. I'll take the graphic off for a second. So we're looking at Earth. Sorry, wrong button. All right, so if you look at the crown, can you see it's like these hands coming out? So you're finding a way today to reach out to different audiences and different like ways of thinking. And you're showing, I've thought about this, I've thought about that. You're directing your thoughts in a very important way. But let's say you have 3 or 4 different audiences to speak to. You will take your communication and tailor it to them. That's what I'm getting with those different mudras coming out of his head like a crown. I've used this deck maybe a dozen or maybe more, maybe 20 times, but I'm still noticing new things about it. So that is unique. There may be people also that are reaching to you, trying to get into your head. What do you think? We actually use the phrase, it's kind of strange. I need to pick at your brain. And you're like, that's a strange thought, but they're trying to get into your crown chakra. Protect your thoughts. Let people know what the limits are. And if someone is trying to understand or get your knowledge, make sure that you're getting what you need out of that exchange. Because sometimes people will just pick at your brain until it's exhausted. So the King of Swords has a sword. He sometimes needs to use it to cut off the nonsense, to cut through some of that baloney, okay? So that's an important piece there, is to speak boundaries and say no, or say fine, but this is what it costs. There's an exchange. That's a knowledge exchange, right? Okay. Now let's move on from Earth to air. So interestingly enough, Libra, you're coming through loud and clear, but this works for all of the air signs. So we have justice. We have a time marker on this one. It was in the upright position as we looked at Saturday. So Saturday is your power day, and your power is in saying no. And if there's something in your life that isn't sustaining, not making you happy, or it's taxing your brain, you just simply say, I think I've had enough of that. Thanks, but no thanks. If there's something that is wrong, let's say, it could be legal, it could be moral, it could just feel incompatible with what you're doing. You speak up and you create the necessary balance. Because you're air, you can see it from the other perspective. All the air signs can do this. So what you can do is say, I know where you're coming from. I understand the frustration. I understand the need. However, this is necessary for me to move in this direction. You're going to You're going to empathize. You're going to put yourself in that mind space, and then you're going to help them come closer to your point of view. Can you see it from my perspective? Have you thought about this? You can use questions as a way to open up their mind. But something isn't where it needs to be. And so this is your chance to create better balance. I love that she's tuned into source energy. So trust in your vision and trust in your intuition, just like High Priestess energy. And if you need help, ask. Ask for someone that can help articulate and help you materialize what it is that you're looking for in a legal format. So definitely lawyers are coming through loud and clear this week. The word no and boundaries also a common theme. And with all air signs, it's important for you to choose something that creates necessary balance in your life. Fight for what matters, right? Okay. I think that's everything here. Let me see if there's anything else. Well, the one thing that I'm looking at here is the beautiful heart. Follow your heart and never do something that makes your heart feel heavy. Because in the weighing of the heart ceremony that we see in Egyptian mythology, the heart is weighed against a feather, and we want the heart to be as light as a feather. If it isn't, it's showing that you're doing things that are creating heaviness in your world or in others. And basically, in mythology, you wouldn't be able to go to the next level. So something's holding you back, and it could be a person or a place that's making the heart feel heavy. So we need to cut the ties to that as well. Finally, water. We have Hierophant energy, but reversed. So there's an illusion with the Hierophant sometimes that someone else holds the key. The modern interpretation of this card is we each have our own keys. We don't need an arbitrary intermediate. I mean, this is typically a papal figure, but it can be anyone that, I want to use the right word, that communicates that they are the end-all be-all. The truth is, you have just as much of a right and an ability to use the key and open the door yourself. So if you look in the background, he has 2 disciples, but they're underneath all of these levels. He's creating levels of obscurity, levels of bureaucracy, and they are being asked to kind of exist under that. So a reversed Hierophant, bringing it into practical terms for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, is this feeling of, I'll do it my way, like that song, right? I need to branch out in a different direction. I don't know if your way or if this structure is something that is feeling good to me. So we're getting a lot of pushback this week, interestingly enough, as I look at all of these different messages here, because we see that in the element of fire that it was like, I've had enough. In this one, there's people picking at your brain and you're using your sword to kind of push back. And that was for earth. For air, it's an imbalance that needs to be balanced out. And for water, it's a structure that doesn't fit. All of these are showing a need to recalibrate and do so before the end of this year so that next year you're setting it in the right motion and the right direction. Beautiful energy here. Okay, so that gives us what we need from an elemental breakdown. And again, thank you to everybody that's been patient. We'll have the last 2 signs out later today. I'll probably take a nap after the live stream and then get Aries and Taurus out. And then I will go back to month ones. I'm going to probably change up the format and make them a little shorter so that we can get them done quicker for January. I may even take out the extended forecast for these just to make sure that we can get them out faster. So I'm trying to find compromises to make sure everything is done. I have to move by the 22nd. So I'll truncate these, but you'll get them faster. They'll go back in the regular order. And I think that might be better. So I'm trying to, maybe I'll get these down to like 20 to 30 minutes and get them out quickly, get them out in the first couple weeks. And then we'll look at next year and we'll look at the format change. I see some people that get so upset when I change formats, like I'm unsubscribing or I don't like that you changed. I'm like, can we just like month to month, life gets in the way, things change. Let's try to be more flexible in the new year. That's my wish for all of us. Let's not be so rigid. I love when people announce things and like, I'm unsubscribing or I'm done. I'm like, this is just 1 month. We can't like make a mountain out of a molehill. So let's breathe. It's going to be okay, folks. All right. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. We're getting into the main topic today, which is real talk, which I've already started to tap into. It's like no holds barred. We just sometimes need to see what we need to see. Okay. Let me select a deck here. I may just go with Light Seeker because it's a beautiful deck. And I may take a look at, let me grab the Crow's Oracle because it helps with getting real. So give me 1 second, okay? I don't know what I did with the Crow Oracles. That's okay. I grabbed something else. Okay. Let's begin. Take a moment, please. Close your eyes, and I'd like you to let go of anything that you're trying to project, because in this moment, we're just inviting the guides in. See yourself in the circle of light or circle of candles, and let's welcome in the guides in particular. Angels and spirit masters are also welcome in, but this is really your guides that are kind of coming in here to just help nudge you, push you, or show you what you need to see. All right. Yeah, I love this deck because everything in it is elevated. And I don't really need to compare things that much to Rider-Waite-Smith. It's a pretty good deck. All right. We're going to use this one because it's been a minute. Also, I wasn't being dismissive. I was being humorous. When I said it's like not that big a deal, I think sometimes we give too much energy to the stress, to some of the other feelings, and we don't just trust. And I really would love us to trust one another. I think the challenge right now is just there's so much going on in the world. And everybody has their moment where they just have to kind of let it out. So I also understand that and hold space for that. And for many of us, it's been a year of challenges, right? And there comes a point where you just have to sometimes like let it out. Hopefully this space, though, is not a place where you have to do that. This can be a safe space to just connect with one another. By the way, we're already very close to our goal. Thank you for the 20 out of 30. We'll get there. Whatever it is, we'll get there at the end of this reading, so I feel very good about that. So, all right. Ooh. Okay. I think we've got everything here. Let's begin with Catalyst Energy first. And actually, by the way, before I get started, for those that are still here, welcome. There's a little gift of some memberships for all of you. All right. Thank you for listening to me talk today. All right. Your catalyst today, the horse. I would connect this to the chariot, and it's a horse that is not being reined in. Some of you are at a point where you want to disconnect from the machinery of the chariot. You don't want someone else telling you what to do. You may not even want to share the stage. There's something in your life right now where it's like, I really feel passionate about this and I have to embark on this particular step or phase on my own. So that's one thing that I get with the horse. The other thing here is speed and movement. In my mind's eye, I just see it galloping and moving and unbridled, just sort of like going where it needs to be. I would love for all of us to have that feeling of freedom and movement. Going back to the channeled message of being in the train station, being in a hurry but not knowing where we're going. Trust your instincts and follow the signs and signals. The horse can kind of read the signs and signals. I'm definitely getting that. Of course, we're looking at the third eye here, which is making time to meditate and tune in. One thing that I'm thinking of doing in January, once I'm settled in my new place, maybe we'll kick off the year, and I'll announce it in advance and maybe figure out how we're going to do this. But we'll start the year with like, how many days are in January? 30, 31? But we'll start off with a month of meditation, like where we show up for each other, for those of you that don't meditate, at a time that works. There's 31 days. Okay. So 31, 3 plus 1 equals 4. It's a nice foundational energy. So maybe in January, we'll do something like that so that we can start tuning in enough to follow the signs, to see the signs, to create the stage, to create the foundation. So more to come on that. I don't think I've ever done something of that nature before. So we'll have to figure out times. I'll have to figure out how we're going to do this, and I'll set it into motion. But it's powerful to show up consistently and persistently to make something happen, and then to follow through and to move through this. And that's kind of what I'm getting with the horse. Okay. Let's take a moment and just look at the cards in front of us. Interesting energy in this sort of checkerboard here with the Four of Swords, the Devil, the Moon, and the Ten of Swords. They're in positions that are mutable, and they're not necessarily in the future positions so much. It feels like you're en route to something good, but there are some things that you need to release. So we'll talk about it. But let's begin with the King of Swords at the center. Bravery, fearlessness. We've got the lion in the background. And ostensibly, the lion has been freed from the Strength card. So this is you finding your voice, finding your power, speaking up. I love how the crown is the flame here. That's very cool. I've seen this a lot of times. I still, as I look at cards as a reader, because I work with so many decks, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that feature before. Anyway, what I get with that flame being the crown is he doesn't have to prove his power. Have you ever noticed when a leader has to say how great they are, whether it's, a teacher or CEO or anyone in pop culture, when they're trying to show their power and kind of like all of that stuff, it's bravado, it's fake, it's overcompensating. And then when you just have someone that is comfortable in their power and has gravitas, enters the room and you just know it, they don't have to say a word. This is about embodying the King of Wands that you are, okay? You have the capacity to make this work. Just show it. Show it, don't tell it. And embody it. Don't articulate it. If you constantly have to say how amazing you are you? So just make an impact. Just show up. And showing up is the most important thing you can do. So here's the real talk piece from, we're already in it, but the guides are saying, if you show up and illustrate and demonstrate and live and breathe your truth, people will recognize it and see it and gravitate towards you. That is the single most powerful thing that you can do, not just this week, but as we go into next year, okay? He has a little gecko on his shirt, which is one of the, I think it's also a tattoo. That's always part of the totem of the King of Wands. Geckos or lizards or whatever you want to call it, what I like about them is they're fast. They also have regeneration as part of their sort of DNA. So if you cut off the tail, or if they release the tail rather, to get away from a predator, they can regrow it. So you have the opportunity right now to bounce back and recreate something. So many of us are going through financial challenges, health challenges, mental challenges, whatever it is that's coming through right now, where you feel like I'm at a brick wall. Maybe right in this moment you are, but you're going to be able, at least to some capacity, to recover or to rebound. That is one thing that my whole health challenge taught me. Most of what I went through, I was able to come on the other side. So I'm still having I'm now down to just a non-steroidal antihistamine spray that I have to take once every few days if I feel an inflammation. But my hearing came back, just a little bit of eustachian tube dysfunction, which is going away. I had aches and pains from the medication that I was on, the prednisone, and I just have a little bit of swelling, but that's like 98% gone. And then I had exhaustion, fatigue, as my adrenal glands were coming back because it hit at all of those. So it wasn't overnight, and some things are taking longer, and so but growth and renewal takes time. It does happen in the long run. You have to be patient with yourself. So if that little tail has fallen off for you, whatever that might represent, health, money, clarity, whatever, it will grow back. It just takes time. So give yourself time for that to grow back, okay? We have the Six of Wands crossing this card, which is success. That's why I know that you're going to rebound. Also, you're bound for success. You have to believe in yourself, though, for others to do the same. And I think that's one of the defining features of successful people, is that they believe in themselves, sometimes even if it's delusional. There's a song by Annie Lennox called Legend in My Living Room. But like sometimes you have to believe that you're a legend before you are a legend. Sports people do this a lot. So, you know, an athlete, a sprinter, a swimmer or whatever, every day they show up for practice and competition knowing I'm going to get that gold medal or that whatever it is that they're trying to do. I'm going to beat that sort of time or that goal. And they believe it before they do it. You have to believe it. You have to believe in yourself. And then success follows. And you get to define what success is for you. Forget about what your parents said. Forget about what the world says. The only one putting pressure on you is you. If the other people are, say, what are you doing in your own life? Like, why are you so concerned about me? And hold the mirror up to them. And you just focus on you. Look at all the hands reaching out. The other thing here is sometimes we're afraid to step into the spotlight because of additional scrutiny. You're never going to make everyone happy. So one thing I've learned to do is just leave the trolls, leave the haters, leave the naysayers alone. Because typically if you do, they'll go to someone else. There's always going to be one person in the room that just can't get it. I remember when I was, I must have been in middle school. I can't remember which grade, maybe 7th grade or something. But I was helping one of my favorite English teachers do a summer enrichment program. I went from taking the class to teaching and to being an assistant with him. And he was an amazing teacher. And most of the kids loved it. But there was like a couple of really nasty comments. And he said, oh, just forget about it. He said, there's always someone, you're never going to make them all happy, Nicholas. It was one of the best lessons I could get. He's since passed away, but he was a great, great English teacher. And I was like, oh, if it doesn't bother him, I'm going to not let things bother me. Because I don't know if he went into all of this with me, but what I've learned years later is that you never know what's going on in that person's life right now. They could have just had someone be mean to them. They could be going through challenges, and all you are is the person that's in front of them that they can complain to. It isn't actually about you. There's this domino effect of other things, and you're just the receiving end. So what you can do is take a deep breath and say, not today, I'm not going to take the bait. It's not about me. And that is part of what this is. So in hopes, fears, and opportunities, we're going to jump a little bit. You can just walk away. It is liberating. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, would say one of the best things about being older is I can know that I'm right without having to tell you that I'm right or prove that I'm right. And I know that invariably, if that person doesn't listen to my advice, they're going to find out the hard way that I was right. So that was my grandfather, Frank, that was very smart with that kind of stuff. And he must have been 60 or 70 when he told me that. So I appreciate and understand that lesson now. Sometimes you just let it go. You can walk away. That is the winning hand sometimes. It's just saying, I don't need to take this bait, okay? In the deep past, no more procrastination. Real talk from the guides. It's time to move forward. There has been a sort of indecisive energy between moving towards the future and living in the past. Or there's been a fear of when is the right moment. Remember, in this, as we looked at the 7-day forecast, there was the 3 of Wands moment that came up. I think it was towards the middle of the week. Embrace that. Go back and rewind and take a look, okay? The 6 of Swords is also about releasing regret. I could have done this. I should have done this. I wish I had. Okay, take the wish and speak it out into the world. Do it now. Whatever you didn't do before, you can do now. Sometimes we have to experience a slight delay or setback in order to see it from a new perspective. So if you're taking 2 or 3 steps forward and just one set or one step back, it's not going to be the end of the world. That step back is helping you look at something that you needed to. So you may have to do a little bit of that recalibrating, but you're still making movement, okay? All right, let me take a quick drink and then we're going to talk about the 4 of Swords. I mentioned before these are 2 cards that show grieving and movement, but in different ways. So the Six of Swords is a more active card. Typically, we would see someone in the boat actually rowing it, but be that as it may, this is the most passive of the grieving and releasing cards, literally putting something to rest. And what's interesting, and I love that they put the heart here, because the heart is a carryover from the Three of Swords. So in the typical card, you see 3 swords above and 1 sword below, I believe, in the Four of Swords. I'll pull up the traditional one in a second. The 1 sword below is your recalibrating, your sort of like vitality that comes back. And the 3 swords above representing healing the heart, letting go of the Three of Swords moment. So you need to rest. If you're working yourself to exhaustion, you need rest. And that is a Four of Swords reversed. Not giving yourself ample time to rest. I had to do that. It could be more figurative in your life too. It could just be like, I don't have the time and energy to listen to that person. I need to just let it go. So rest, recalibrate, and know that, by the way, if someone else is not returning a phone call, not connecting with you, not listening to you, it might also be a sign and signal from the universe that it's just time to move on. We can't control everything, and sometimes you just have to let that inaction be a communication. So a lack of communication is communication from somebody. I'm going to find this. Give me one more time to look through this. The other thing with the Four of Swords is pay attention to what's coming through in your dream state. Too often, we don't give ourselves enough time to rest, and that it basically steals 2 things from us. One, the ability for the body to heal, but the other is for you to tap into your intuition. I'm working on a project now, probably won't be released for another year or so, but one of the things that I'm talking about is the importance of dream work. And that's illustrated. I had to find both cards here. So here's your Three of Swords, which is pain, disappointment, and setback. You put the Three of Swords to rest. That's why the 3 swords are above the Four of Swords. And then you get action, ideas, clarity, and rest. And then what we see here is the heart is healing as you recalibrate. So rest is one of the biggest gifts you can give to yourself, but we don't do it often enough. We go without resting. Rest. Like I said, after this reading, I'll do the other 2, but I'm probably going to need to take a nap, because it takes a lot to do something like this because we're doing 4 readings at once. Channeled messages, we're looking at 7-day forecasts, the elemental forecast, the special forecast. So I have to just take care of myself after I do something for like 2 hours. So do the same in your life. Know what your limits are, rest, recalibrate, and regroup as needed, okay? All right. Let's go to the crowning card. We have El Diablo sitting atop there. One of our least favorite but most important cards in the major arcana. All right, so the devil. There's a lot of different cards that work with the devil. But chief among them are 7 of Swords and 5 of Swords, but 8 of Swords is also there. 5 of Swords is not listening or being too hard on yourself. 7 of Swords, telling little white lies to yourself, and others are not keeping your promises. 8 of Swords, thinking yourself into a prison. The moon, which also comes through here, not always being honest, not always walking that road of integrity. So we need to let go of people in our lives that are entering into that energy of the devil, or our own habits. We all have certain things that are kind of like self-sabotage, basically. So let's walk away from that. If something's too good to be true, it probably is. If someone is trying to pull you into something and the trade-off isn't worth it, don't do it. This is one card where I can, without a shadow of doubt, say, you can do better. You never want to make a contract with this dude. You can always do something better, because the devil always gets more in the bargain. So if a contract is one-sided, walk away. You are better off walking away from it. Even if you revise it, one thing that I have to ask myself, so I already know that I'm not going to use a certain moving company because they gave me a price that was 100% more than it should be. I'd worked with them before and I'm like, no, there's something wrong. Look at it again. They're like, oh, you're right. We miscalculated. And I'm like, no, you just were trying to take advantage of me. So when you have to fight back on something like that, it's like, if I don't have to choose you, if I'm not contracted to choose you, I'm not going to choose you because you thought I was stupid. And I had to fight for you to do the right thing, to work with integrity. This is why you always want to get like 3 estimates or 3 bids when you're trying to get projects or work done. A lot of times for those of you in even government contracts, usually you need 3 bids. So make sure that you're looking at all the options. And if you have to call someone on their BS, usually it's because you don't need to work with them. They're going to do it again. So I looked at that and I'm like, you're the devil. I don't need to do that. I'm going to find someone that gives me the best price at the beginning. So that's a real life example of something where if you're not contracted to work with them, you can do better than someone that's trying to pull one over on you. And I was looking at TikToks where I don't know why retailers are doing this, but maybe it's actually disgruntled employees, but a lot of these Black Friday sales were not sales. It was the same price with a Black Friday sticker, or they had hiked up the price, given you a reduction, and it was the same price. So when you're working, I just wouldn't purchase the product from that store. I'm like, you're lying and you're lacking integrity. And are you going to be there when there's a problem with this product, or am I going to get more of the same? So I look at people's actions and they speak louder than the words. And you might catch someone red-handed in something, and just trust that that's not the best person for you, or that's not the best company, or that's not the best choice. Okay? The devil tells on himself. I don't know why, but typically the devil can't shut up. So it's there to help you. But like when someone reveals their true colors, or if something reveals its true colors and its true colors are the devil, move on, find another path, right? And don't buy into the narrative. So that's why we're getting above all of this stuff and like we're reprogramming ourselves. A lot of these holidays are manufactured. Valentine's Day is an example. I mean, it's based on a historical thing, but like really it's a hallmark or a kind of manufactured holiday. A lot of Father's Day, all these different days. Hopefully in a relationship, especially like with Valentine's Day, you're showing up every day. And that's just one day where you're like, let's do something fun tonight. Let's not overdo it. We don't have to go overboard. We can remember each other, but it's every day that matters, not that one day. So with the holidays, it's the same sort of thing. As I got older, as my family got older, for like things like Christmas or something, we just pick a single gift and we would articulate it beforehand. Sometimes there'd be a little surprise or something, but it wasn't like we were piling up all these things under the tree, because why do that? It would be more fun to take a trip, to go out to see a movie. That was something that we did, and we would get one small token gift of appreciation so that we wouldn't have to financially burden one another. And I don't know, I think that was like probably like early 2000s we started doing that. My family's since gone, but for at least for 10 or 15 of the years that led up to them exiting the planet, it was just an expression of love. That's it. Like, let's just spend time together. You don't have to get me anything on my birthday. Let's just go out and have a bite to eat, or let's chill and do something together. You can do that kind of expression instead of buying into the narrative that I have to prove by spending. And overcompensating and only paying attention on this one day. Do it every day, and then that day is the pressure's off, right? Okay. At least in my friend circle and in my family circle, we don't have to worry about that anymore. In the near future, we have the moon in reverse. So there's an emotional component in this one. Fear, anxiety, sadness. There could be something heavy coming in. Deal with that first and foremost. We have the dog and the wolf in the background, and the path that's kind of obscured by this energy in the middle. So you have to get through the emotions before the path reveals itself. With the moon card, real talk, we don't have to give in to competition. We don't need to compare ourselves to others. And I think the other thing here is to also rise above. I think a big part of this right now is just not letting someone get the better of you. Their emotions, their drama, whatever this is a potential block. Your outcome is good, but the near future and the Ten of Swords are connected. One thing that I have learned also in my many years on the planet is you can't heal everyone. They have to be ready to walk away from their own vice, from their own pain, from their own moment. And all you can do is keep the door open and keep the lines of communication open. And when that moment happens where they're ready, then you can connect. But otherwise, focus on where you can make the healing impact. And there may be something or someone in your life that just isn't ready to receive it. My father was a lifetime smoker. I don't smoke. I couldn't get him to stop for the life of me, or for the life of him in this case. And I just had to let it go. That was his choice. And it ultimately caused a myriad of problems. He had COPD, he had bladder cancer, he had heart failure. So, and COPD is bronchitis, asthma, and emphysema. Like, it was terrible. It was everything on the back of the cigarette package. When I was a little kid in elementary school, like the 6th grade, I learned what cigarettes could do. And I tried to share the, I was so naive. I'm like, Dad, do you realize all these things are in the cigarettes? And he just kind of gave me a condescending pat on the back and then went out and smoked. I wrote on all of his cigarettes, like, Daddy, please stop. And then a few times I argued with him, and then finally I'm like, I can't do this anymore. That's your choice. That's your addiction. That's your choice. I can't stop you. I love you, and I accept you, and it frustrates me, and it hurts me, but I couldn't stop him until the very end as well. He was still smoking almost until he passed away. So that is what it is. But I had to move past the anger because I'm like, I still need a relationship with my dad, and that's his choice. If anybody's lived with an alcoholic, a cigarette smoker, or another kind of addict, you know that there's only so much that you can do. You have to hold some space, but there's also a place where I'm like, I'm not going to carry the burden of the addiction in my life. That wasn't me doing that to him, and I couldn't have stopped him even if I tried. So free yourself from the pain that someone else is putting on their own life. There's only so much we can do. We can advocate. I can share my story with you. Maybe that will help you, but that's all that I can do in that equation. When he comes through, a lot of time, I have friends that are mediums too. They're like, oh, was he a smoker? Like, even in spirit, he has the smell of cigarette. He loves cigarettes. So it is what it is. That was part of his character. So just know that you can only do so much. I could hold space and give him love, but that was all that I could do in that situation. Okay? And we have kind of like what I'm talking about right here, the Fool in reverse. Sometimes you just have to walk away. Sometimes you have to go in another direction. And sometimes people walk away from you, from your good advice. So be it. We don't have to, let's see. I think all of these cards are important, but we don't have to force someone to do something. They get their own free will. It may hurt to feel this, but you can put it to rest and know that you did the best that you can do. So that's that's the gold bar that I hold myself to, the standard. Did I do the best that I could? Absolutely. Did I try beyond a shadow of a doubt to communicate something? Yes. All right, I got to live my own life. I'm going to let them live their own life. And you may have to do the same. Okay, on to other things. The Fool in reverse. What's holding you back from taking the first step? We have a trust fall in this one. For some of you, it could just be trust. What have I got to lose? That's actually, as I get older, the thing that I think about now. Because time isn't a guarantee at a certain age. So from like 0 to 25, you've got your body's amazing. It can bounce back, even from like 25 to 50. But once you start to get to the halfway point, there's fewer guarantees and it takes longer to recalibrate. And then when you get from 75 to 100, it's like, who cares? I'm going to do what I want to do. But like, if the worst that could happen is that I don't succeed, that's not terrible. Did I try? Yes. When I'm in soul review and I'm looking at my life with my guides and with whatever my connection to source is, will we all be happy that I tried? Yes. It doesn't matter when or if you succeed. It matters, did you give it your best? Did you try? Did you learn? Then you succeeded. So just take a step. Don't fear failure. Fear holds you back. If you don't try, you will beat yourself up. If you try and fail and learn, you're still winning, okay? You may have to take a step back and address something right now. It could be something that you forgot. It could be something that hurts. It could be something that you've ignored. Whatever it is, you're not really losing your place in line or whatever. What you're doing is untethering yourself so that as you move forward, you can do so with greater speed and momentum. Okay, we have a great card in the environment, Ace of Pentacles. What I'm getting from this, because it's upright, is that some of you might be resisting help, opportunity, or maybe even money. And if something's coming through, it feels like you've earned it. You've earned this opportunity. So embrace it. There could be an inner saboteur in the form of the devil. There could be also inner saboteur thoughts like, I'm afraid, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready, this won't last. And you walk away from something that could be really good. Don't do that. Now is different. Now is better. Now you are wiser. It is a matter of just owning the moment. If you want something, ask. If you need something, reach out for it. There is support. It may not be immediately available to you, but if you keep reaching, if you keep looking, if you keep searching, you should be able to connect with it. This is a time to plant seeds of intention. So there's definitely an onus on you to be active and proactive. That King of Swords energy that came through, the King of Wands energy that came through, walk the walk, talk the talk. That's the combination of the two. But I love what I see here in the environment. Opportunities knocking. Are you ready to answer? We talked a great deal about the Ten of Swords, but it is in a very mutable and malleable place, hopes, fears, and opportunities. The fear is I'm going to fail. I think we've addressed that failure isn't real, not in the way that we think of it. Failure is a lesson that's difficult. That's it. I just went through a difficult lesson. I learned. Great. I didn't fail. I learned. The only failure is not trying. The only failure is ignoring. But even then, you eventually are going to see that that doesn't work. Once you learn, you graduate. So don't walk away from something because you're afraid of rejection or failure. Once you're in life review, once this life is done, that stuff won't matter. It'll just be, did I try? Did I learn? Did I make a difference? That's all that matters. Not what other people thought to some degree, like if they applauded, accepted, or understood it. It's like, did I do the right thing and did I try? Okay, good. There may be some healing that needs to be done with the Four of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Here's an interesting piece. Let's say the person in your life, there's a lot of walking away with the Fool. It can be someone walking away. The Ten of Swords can be someone closing you out. I mean, this is a very non-traditional version of it. I'll pull the traditional one here in a second. But you can't run away from the healing that needs to be done right now. So it feels like if something hurts, talk to someone about it. And then you can release it. Here's your traditional card. It hurts so that we pay attention. It hurts so that we stop. This is one of the most dramatic cards in the Ten of Swords. It does not take 10 swords to kill someone. But this person had to go through a lot to learn the lesson. That's all this is figurative. Even in the most dramatic and dark and kind of like gruesome card in tarot, there is a new day that is dawning in the background. So no matter how much it feels like everything has collapsed, there's still an opportunity to rise above. She's on the other end. It's a new day. So this is, oh my God, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. This one is, all right, the sky fell, but it's actually not the end of the world. I'm just going to get up and pick up the pieces. Post Tower. What do I need to take away? What can I move forward with? And how can I start the healing process? The outcome is good. There is a silver lining to this. We have Three of Pentacles, teamwork, recognition, and mastery. And what do I mean by mastery? Whatever it is that you set out to do, not only do you do it, but like gold star, A+, amazing, 100%. So you're going to be fine. There's a lot of emotions that have popped up in this spread. Fatigue because of overwork, possibly mental anguish, physical anguish, or the sense of like failure. Heavy emotion. It's the devil. He's pulling the strings. But what are we really looking at here? Success, leadership, opportunity, and mastery. And a new beginning. And moving forward when you're ready. He's just clouding the view. Okay, let's extend this a little bit. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny. Pull a card for each. I'm not going to go as deep into all of these because I want to do something extra at the end. So let me see. I'll set another goal. We got 20 of the 30, so let me see if I can still do it. I don't think I can start another one. So let's get 10 more by the end, and I'll give us the rest of this time. And if we can get 10 more, I will extend this a little bit more. Oh, wait, not yet. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so hold on a second. Almost hit the wrong button. So bonus. All right, so if we can get 10 more, we'll get to that bonus there. So there we go. Okay, back to work here. So we're going to start off with health, which is mind, body, and spirit. And this is going to help us be the best version of ourselves. So let's take a look at the cards and see what's going on here. Okay. For health, hello. It's mind, body, and spirit because we have the mind here. But the mind does what? It actually fuels and heals and affects the body. So these two cards are coming forth. This is something that I learned later in my life. It is mind over matter. So with all that has been going on, I had to talk to myself. I don't need to feel this. I don't want to hold on to this. Sometimes we hold on to the pain, right? And it can be mental pain. We sometimes even have a false narrative, like, I deserve this. I'm not good enough. Or I guess this is just what it's like to get older. So with all the stuff that was going on in my mind and my body, I actually told myself, you're not getting older, you're getting younger. You're not going to experience this, you're going to recalibrate and learn from this. This isn't going to be a failure, this is going to be a success. This isn't your time for these things. 20, 30, 40 years from now, yes, not right now. This is too soon and you didn't sign up for this. So I had to talk my body into healing itself and reprogram my mind. And your body listens to what your head's saying and thinking. Who knows how far you can go? So I also believe in miracles, like miraculous types of recovery in the body. And I think anyone that's gone through like cancer or another really difficult and foreboding thing, you're like, I don't know how, but I'm going to get through this. I'm going to prove that doctor wrong. I don't believe in the doctor. I believe in myself. You don't know how far you can take it. Maybe it'll be 100% recovery. Maybe it'll be 90%. Whatever it is, go for it. You have to believe that you can do it. So believe in your capacity to achieve the best possible outcome, and maybe even beyond your wildest dreams. So that's something. I have a great friend from, I think we met maybe in the 5th grade or something, 4th grade, but he's a shaman now. It's so interesting how we both walked into paths of healing. And he's like, Nicholas, you're going to be fine. You have to get out of this thought that it's not going to be okay. And he kept checking in on me and bothering me in the best possible way. He's like, how are we doing? Have you had your health recovery yet? Have you had the epiphany? Are you listening to me? Are you listening to your higher self? And eventually I was laughing at him. I'm like, thank you for bothering me and for persisting. And I did have a breakthrough. And he's like, I told you so, but in the best possible way. So learn from me, learn from him, that our body responds to our brain. And our brain can help reprogram and help heal the body. Surround yourself with positive people. They also have an effect. It's like the operating system. The people, the thoughts, the environment. All of those things help you get into the best possible swim lane for your body, okay? But it's interesting and ironic. It says body, but it shows the brain. So the brain is your CPU that affects the body, okay? And believe in yourself. And if you need to get some support from like you may have someone that gives you the worst case outcome, okay, but what else can I do? How can I steer the ship? Are you sure that you've explored all the options? This person's closed off. They don't believe in the capacity for you to be the best version of yourself. So you need someone else who can help navigate you in that path and believes in you, okay? Whether it's a friend, a mentor, a spiritual, someone in your life that can kind of help you find your center. All right, let's look at some other things. I talked about addiction. Addiction takes many forms. Workaholic is a form of addiction. Perfectionist, that's a type of addiction. And of course, we have addictions with food, with drugs, with alcohol, with other substances. If you're ready to walk away from something that takes more than it gives, now is the time to do so. And you can do so with helping hands of others and cooperation and collaboration of others. You don't have to do this alone. One of the things that you're cheating yourself potentially of is rest, or like I mentioned, going to the train station without an idea of where you're going next. Like this is saying, okay, what am I doing? Why do I constantly go, 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 go? Okay? The moon in reverse. For some of you, stress is manifesting itself in other ways. So you may be feeling dehydrated. You might have some issues with your urinary tract, reproductive tract. Cycles may be off for women. There's so many different ways that this can manifest. That is more of the, it's the body getting your attention. It's not necessarily that where it's happening is where the problem is. It's a symptom of a larger issue, of the devil, of the Four of Swords reversed. So when you start to fix and recalibrate the other things, you start to feel better. And this may go away. This may just be a symptom of a larger thing. And this is why you need a holistic view. You need to go to different specialists or to someone that looks at the full body, mind, body, spirit equation, not just giving you a prescription for the one thing. Because that's why I had to eventually get off of the prescriptions, because they're not helping at some point. I took them as long as I needed to, and then I'm like, all right, now I need to repair the damage that all of that did. So find someone that can help you see it from all of the different angles. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. You might need to walk away from something. We have 2 cards showing walking away. If it's stressful, if it's toxic, if it's not what you need or want, now is the time to say enough is enough. This can be chronic pain or fatigue. Please pay attention to it and explore all options here. Again, I have a much deeper appreciation for people that do go through things like joint and muscle pain or fibromyalgia. The prednisone made me feel some of that for a while. I still have just a little bit of one joint, but I'm like 99% back to normal. But if that affects you every day, it's a lot to deal with. One thing that I did work with is meditation and working with my own ability to heal and move the energy. Reiki can help with this too. There are a lot of different non-traditional approaches that can help you manage pain or eliminate it or reduce it. Diet is another thing. Okay, and then just make sure that, like I said, what you're taking in the forms of supplements or prescriptions, they're all necessary. Talk to someone and make sure that maybe if you've done the work and your body's repaired, there are certain things that are no longer necessary. So have a reevaluation from time to time. Okay, let's move on from health to wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. Yes, amen. Remember who you are, especially when faced with temptation, especially when faced with this feeling of rejection or failure. When you know who you are, these things don't affect you as much as they used to. And when we're looking at opportunities, you need to know who you are because there could be someone trying to pull you in a different direction. I think that's the biggest thing here is there might be someone who says they know best, but do they? All right, I'm going to read this broadly for everybody rather than drilling into all the specifics. You can look at your monthlies, and again, the last 2 signs that I'm doing, you'll have yours today. So let's go high level for this. So know who you are. That's the big, quote unquote, real talk from the guides. Why? Because someone else may try to take you off your path or convince you to do something that isn't correct for you. Why? Because you might be working yourself to exhaustion, maybe just to get the approval of others, but all you need is the approval and satisfaction from within. Recalibrate success, recalibrate failure. Know that there's really no such thing as failure as long as you're learning. And with the 6 of Wands, create a path that's authentic for you. Be a light for others who don't have it. And I'm getting a lot of entrepreneurial energy here. So whether or not you own your own business or do your own thing, this is your chance to kind of stand up for who you are and what matters the most. In many places in your life, there may be a lack of leadership. So for those of you that work in a company, or maybe even if you're in school, the teacher or the leader, it feels like they're hands off or they are trying to kind of work in their own agenda. So this may be also an opportunity for you to explore other options. One thing that I get without a shadow of doubt is that you are worthy, that you will be successful, and that you can master whatever challenge is in front of you. There just might be someone that's jealous or incapable of supporting you in the way that you need it. So seek out other options if you need to. Advocate for your worth. Remember, as I looked at the weekly, I believe we had the Five of Pentacles. So ask for more. You can get that Six of Pentacles balance that I was talking about or alluding to. Some of you are burned out, and it's okay to be burned out because you still have the flame. You're the phoenix that's going to rise up from the ashes. Burnout tells us without any doubt, it's a full stop. Like, I've had enough. I've had enough, and I need to move in a new direction. And you can't physically, mentally, or emotionally imagine like one more step. And that's when you say, I quit. I want to move on. I've had enough. And that isn't failure. That is clarity. That is focusing on what you know that you have to do for self-sustaining energy. Some of you are considering going back to school, teaching, or mentoring. Three of Pentacles is all of that. Use your communication skills and put something into a written form, whether it's a book, a curriculum, a scientific paper, I don't care. This is writing, though. It is writing and learning and sharing. And people will look at that and see value and say, oh, I hadn't thought of you in that light. Maybe you could help me with this. It can open new doors of opportunity for you, okay? Let's move on to love. I mean, it's on the nose here. Relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. I take this a level higher and say, when we're looking at relationships, like attracts like. For relationships, I will drill down because it's only 3 subcategories. For current partnerships, there are some important things to talk about. Honesty, integrity. Is it there? Is there something that you need to share with one another? If you can't share it, that's what happens. If you can share it, then you find a way to move through the emotions. So lead with honesty, and if someone can't or won't be honest, then you know that there's really not the firm foundation that you thought there was. This can also represent an external force in your life. It could be the pain in the world around you. It could be a family member going through something. And in this situation, slow down, support one another, and find the middle ground. Find time to be together. I feel like there could have been an argument for some of you with the Ten of Swords there. It's not always easy, but if you've been in a long-term relationship, you can start by saying, why did you say that? Where is this coming from? It hurt, but I want to understand if you're hurting or why you said that. And also, please don't do that again. You can say that. Like, we're not going back to that. That hurt a lot. But why did you say it? You may need someone to help you because that is very elevated. And sometimes we're just in that feeling of you hurt me. So always try to figure out why the argument's happening now. Why now are you saying this? Why didn't we talk about this last week or last year? I'm glad we're talking about it now. But moving forward, if we are to avoid this, so open up the lines of communication and ask why first before making any assumptions, because they may be in pain. Remember what I was talking about with like the trolls, the naysayers, all that stuff? Sometimes they're in so much pain, all they can do is they might be trying to hurt you before you hurt them. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what I'm picking up on. So step back, get some assistance in this situation, and then talk about this. Sometimes when you're in the hurt, you can't get the clarity. You can always come back to it. Otherwise, I just feel like some of you are working too hard and you need to take a break, okay? If you're single and looking, I think it's a good time to stay single. I'll be honest, it's real talk. Because this and this and this are indicating that personal healing needs to be done. I'll call it like when I see it. If you've already met someone, it looks fine. Like if you have a fire sign in your life, we have the King of Wands here at the center, perfect. But if you're looking, there could be a Capricorn. And if we just read the devil as a Capricorn, fine. But if there's someone in your life that's unavailable, maybe like a Scorpio or a Cancer or a Pisces here with the Moon card, let it be. They may not be able to give you what you need or you want. You're looking for different things. That's sometimes all the devil is. Or they're attached. I feel like right now one or both of you are too attached to someone or something. So this week is about healing yourself, saying no to temptation, walking away from any triggers in your life that just aren't worth it, finishing what you've started, and then opening yourself up to someone to come in. But right now, not the best time. I'm not going to tell you someone's coming into your life if they're not, and I'm not going to tell you it's time if you're not. You signed up for Real Talk, and unlike other readers, I'm not going to tell you that the love of your life is coming in this week. What I think that you can do this week is to focus on healing. The partner may eventually be a Capricorn, or there may be a fire sign, but before you engage with that, focus on yourself first, and that's Real Talk, okay? Single and happy, it's kind of an extension of what I just talked about, but what you can focus on right now is setting a goal or intention. You'll accomplish it. When you focus on one thing, you can make it happen this week. When you walk away from limiting thoughts, good things can happen this week. When you rest, then you can put energy into accomplishing a goal. So listen to all of that. And you're not necessarily moving back. You're maybe moving towards that goal. You had to recalibrate, take a step in a different direction, a side step. Okay? Let's go to Destiny, and then we'll look at the special topic at the end. Not the special topic, but the one that didn't win. I'll maybe even have you vote on it. Okay, it's a trust fall. This reads falling, and it's just like a symbol here on this card, but sometimes it's kind of like a feather is what it reminds me of. It's a trust fall. That's what this is, the Fool. Isn't it interesting that we call it falling in love? So maybe that's something that you're doing. What you're really doing is allowing yourself to be free. You're you're releasing the need to control something. But in life, when we fall into the right path or something like that, it's just kind of like releasing it, letting it go. I really feel like that's the need, that's the desire right now. The other thing is, because it came through reversed, you won't be falling for deception. You can see through that. And failing is not an option right now because you're going to be moving forward. You haven't fallen down. You've just sort of like taken a step back, recalibrated, or had a difficult experience. Okay, so there we go. Now, I want to take a look. We're going into a bonus portion because you guys rock and you said you're interested in more. So I'll give you more. And you came through with those 30 stickers, so thank you. Let's see maybe I'll let you vote on what you want me to look at. So you get a second chance for everyone that showed up today. Because sometimes the people that vote don't always show up. And sometimes you guys are upset that you don't get to see something. So we're going to look at the losing choices. And you can tell me which one you want to look at. So let me go ahead and put all of these here. What I'll do in a moment here is maybe look at the final question before we do the final question. So just give me a second here. Okay. Which losing option would you like me to cover? Okay. And let's see. Why won't it? Oh, I guess it's too many options or too many characters here. Okay, I just had to make these shorter words. All right, so you get a chance to vote on it. What I'm going to do is flip the order a little bit, and we're going to do the final card, even though it's not the final card right now. So I'd like you to think about something that you need guidance or clarity on and vote on what you'd like me to cover for the extended portion, and I'm going to do that. But first things first, let's look at the bonus question or the final card for you. This is auspicious. So for whatever your question was, once more we have a Three of Wands, and once more it's a very active Three of Wands. What I like about this version of the card is she's not waiting for anyone. She's the vehicle. She has she's a surfer, so she's holding the surfboard. She is seeing the opportunity, making the opportunity, and she's delivering it. She's all of it. So you have what it takes to do this on your own. And you don't have to wait for anybody. That's really the message here. So as a yes or no, it's a yes, comma, however, if you're ready or willing to do it on your own and be the one that releases, embraces, or communicates it, it'll happen even faster, even more effectively. And why are you delaying? Why are you waiting? Because the Three of Wands in reversed is saying, why not now? Why not here? And have you looked in all directions? Have you exhausted all options in front of you? If not, now would be the perfect time to do so. All right? I'm going to clear the table. While I'm doing that, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe if you enjoy what you're seeing here, so you never miss out on a future reading. When this is done, you can also give me a follow on social media. I always announce readings, especially when I'm posting a bunch of things like I did yesterday. I was working all day. You won't miss out on something, because I think after 3 or 4 notifications, YouTube just stops. And thank you for everybody that gave back. You can continue doing so. All right. So let's see what you chose for me. All right. So this is really like a viewer's choice. Nobody ever chooses the heart chakra. It's fascinating. Okay. Where to take the first step? Let's look. Let's see what's causing a blockage here, and maybe, how we can get you to take the first step. I think it was like where and when to take the first step. So let's go ahead and use a different deck for this. All right, so we're going to look at a where and a when, and then I'm going to do a past, present, and future. Where to take the first step, when to take the first step, and why are we here? Why are we looking at this? Past, present, future. Okay. And with this where and when, let's take a look at an oracle card to help us. Where? When? Okay. So we'll start off with the where. Where to take the first step. In the company of friends. In a place where you feel like you're with kindred spirits. Maybe even in the relationship, because the Six of Cups, it's all of those things. It's someone who has your back. It's someone that you feel like you have the connection with. This could be, it doesn't have to be at school or anything like that, but it could be in a group where you just feel like I'm in this sort of kindred spirit group. So interestingly enough, the where is it's with people. It's not alone, partnered. And we have a guy in Mudra coming through to help us with the where, and it says there's no beginning and no end to our connection. So, interestingly enough, it doesn't matter where on some levels. It's more about just beginning. There's no beginning and no end. You've been waiting for the perfect place or the perfect time. There is no perfect, first of all, and it's now, and it's where you're at, and it's with somebody that you trust, is kind of what I'm picking up on with this. Okay, I like that. It's interesting that one of, like, when we're like, chef's kiss or perfect, I believe this is kind of, I haven't done, as an adult, you don't kind of go like, oh, that's perfect. But it's kind of that. So now is the perfect time to make this happen. I never really noticed that we did that. Or chef's kiss. It's kind of the same thing. And you're making a mudra in that position. But anyway, I'm getting a now and not alone. That's part of this. Okay, so this was the where, this is the when. Queen of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so the Queen of Swords in reverse, one thing that she does is she revises. So if you need to speak up or revise something, you can do it. The interesting thing for some of you is you're frustrated because this isn't there. So it's chicken and the egg a little bit with this. Okay. This one reads emptiness, and we are unshackling ourselves from someone or something. And in doing so, it feels like you're kind of floating and you're looking for the perfect time, the perfect place. So what I got with all of these was kind of like a consistent thought and piece, which is it's right here, it's right now. And with or without the Six of Cups energy, You can do this. But if you are going to partner, make sure that the people that you're doing this next step with are in the same frequency. They are positive, they are coherent, they are supportive, and they're ready and willing to collaborate with you on that. And if you don't have them, you create the movement yourself and they find you. Sometimes you have to be like the North Star in this situation. So if you're dragging your feet and you're like, it's the opposite of One Day My Prince Will Come, like that. Was it Snow White that did it? I don't know who sang it. One of the Disney princesses. No, you are the prince and you are the princess. And one day you're going to find people in that same sort of energy and frequency. So don't worry so much about that. You are whole. You are ready. You are complete. The time is now. That's very much what I'm getting with that. Let's go a little deeper. I need to open my window real quick. Hold on. Someone's cooking something and it's making its way into my room here. Okay. Ace of Cups, Six of Wands reverse, Seven of Swords. Interesting. All right. So getting into more of the depth of this, why are we here right now? Well, your heart knows already. You already feel the path that's best for you, the choice that's best for you, the person that's best for you. There's something that resonates a little bit more. You looked at it and you saw it and you thought, that's me, that's for me. I think back to Apollo's in the other room. But when I was looking for a rescue, I remember going to the website, looking at little bios, looking at little pictures, and I couldn't stop looking at his because it was the perfect manifestation visually of what I was trying to find. I wanted kind of like a mutt, a Benji type dog, and I wanted a kindness. And it's hard to describe that, but you can look at certain dogs and you can just tell they're kind. You can look at people and you can tell they're kind. You can see an opportunity out there and you think, this is going to be fun. I want you to trust what your heart knows because your head totally gets in the way. But your heart knows. And I didn't know why, but I was like, now is the time. So I went to the site, I looked for, and it took a couple tries at different dogs. And I was like, oh, man, my heart set on that one. But then when I found him, like, oh, that was actually the one. That's the one. So wait until your heart skips a beat. Wait until you can't wait. And then you know that it's time. Your heart will open up and guide you. I really need or I really want this. Okay? One more time here, we have Six of Wands in reverse, or Six of Wands showing up. So success is overrated. Success is your choice. You are also being pulled out into a more visible role. And I feel like some of you might be, did I pull the Hermit today? Yeah. I did so many readings yesterday, I had to think. So I mentioned the Hermit in reverse. It's about coming out of your shell and stepping into the spotlight. Six of Wands is the spotlight. And sometimes we're afraid because there's scrutiny, attention, even just our own anxiety, but you are very much primed in this moment to be okay. You will succeed, you will be fine, even if you're not perfect, even if it takes a couple of missteps or whatever, you will get there. So lean into it. We have this person coaxing the hummingbird. She's kind of, it's like a little carrot on a stick rather. You may need someone to help you get where you need to go. So a coach, a friend, a therapist, whoever or whatever you need to get out of your headspace, I think is really important. Okay? Now, this is the block. This is why we showed up today, and we're going to figure out how to get past the block. We have the Seven of Swords. It's in reverse. We can be the Seven of Swords. No one will notice. I don't need to do this. I'll just take this shortcut. The little deceptive thoughts that will enter into our head and take root. So what we have to do is pull them out and get them at the tap root. If you've ever pulled out something like a weed, for instance, well, let's call it an herb because it's not really a weed, but dandelion. Dandelions have a tap root. They're an edible plant, by the way. That's why I'm like, it's not really a weed. I like it. But if you just take a dandelion and cut it at the surface, the tap root will then sprout out something new. There's a lot of different plants, herbs, quote unquote, wildflowers or weeds that if you don't get all the way through to that taproot, it's going to come back. So the Seven of Swords is like a taproot in our head. And we have to really keep tugging and pulling at where it's rooted itself into the brain. So it can be temptation. It can be a lack of integrity. It can be a little white lie that I can do this and no one will know. So we're going to walk away from temptation to take shortcuts and just say, oh, this is annoying, but I have to do this. It's like washing your clothes, making your bed, cleaning your dishes. You have to do it. It's annoying, but it's a daily task and it's for your betterment. So there's certain things that you're just going to have to do and not take the shortcuts. There may be someone in your life that tempts you, because we saw the devil earlier, and just tells you, no one's going to notice. You can do this. You have to walk the path of integrity here. So you may have to unplug from certain people, places, or activities in order to do this. But let's go ahead and pull a card and say, I'm going to use the black and white deck for this. What can we do to overcome the Seven of Swords? I mean, it is the most integrity-driven card, maybe next to Justice. Because Justice is like, this is the right thing, I'm going to do it. But the Star is authenticity. So that's the difference. I would say Justice is integrity and this is authenticity. You can use a little bit of both. So she's reaching for the highest possible outcome. She's going to be the North Star. She's going to just do it because it's right. And the more you do that in your life, the more you shine, the more people will take note. And we talked a little bit about the King of Wands being that fiery, bright energy. This is the same sort of thing. So keep reaching until you get to that star moment. And the illusion is that you're reaching for the star. You are the star. The Hermit has the star and the lantern. So embody it, and then it just happens. The Seven of Swords can also be the inner saboteur that tells you it will never happen. I associate it a little bit more with Five of Swords, but they share this in common. So it can happen, it is happening, it will happen, but you have to embody the belief. Stop reaching and start being. Even in this card, I'm like, that's not the perfect embodiment of the star. I would just have the star being the brightest light, like having someone with star energy all around them. But anyway, I'm not illustrating this deck. So you don't need to reach for it, you are it. Does that make sense? And when you start to embrace the star that you are, that rhymes, then things get exciting. And then you start to just sort of like overcome some of these other thoughts that have entered into your head. But you have to be true to yourself. I mean, really, that's what this is about. Connecting with Source, choosing to be true to yourself, and knowing that that's going... I don't need to pull the card, but just know that with the star card, there's also a little bit of balancing that happens. Let me pull it from this deck because oftentimes I have to edit it. So Star card and Temperance are asking you to see it from all perspectives, here we go, and to not force anything. She's in the flow. So the Star card is in the flow of creation and in the flow of connection. And if you're doing anything that's blocking that, this is not the time to do that, okay? All right. How's everybody doing? I'm going to check in with everyone really quick and see how you're doing, how you're holding up. Hopefully I answered all the questions with this. I think we did. I might pull one more card for the road here to see if there's anything else we need to do with respect to the timing, the shape, the form of this. But if you need to leave a little comment, you can do that right now. But let me look real quick here and see what else I want to kind of look at. So how and where to take the first step. Let's look at the step itself. Like, what is the first step? I think that's another thing that I want to look at, and then we'll wrap up. Back to this. It's all full circle. Speak it. Speak it into existence. That's your first step. You know it. You've wished it. You've thought about it. Yes, you'll take action on it, but I think the most important thing in taking the first step is speaking that wish. Contrary to our programming, speak the wish. Let people know. Start by putting it in your journal. Start by saying it out loud to yourself. Talk to your dog or your cat or your bird or whatever. Then talk to a human that you trust. Then talk to someone that can actually help make it happen. Practice it until it feels good, until you are confident in the communication of it, until it's not a wish, it's part of you. It's a truth. You're speaking your truth. Okay? Perfect. All right, let me shut the window because it's getting noisy outside. I just had to clear the air, literally. We've gone a little over today, but that's okay. These are magical readings, and it takes as long as it takes. And when we choose something like real talk, the guys are going to talk until they're done. They're done now. So what I'd like to do is take a couple of moments here to just recalibrate. And we already did the final card. So we're just going to tune in here. Close your eyes, if you will. Let go of everything that feels heavy, everything that feels overwhelming in your life. We're going to connect with the star energy, which we just saw. Imagine that you are in the middle of a field and you're looking at the stars above. There's no city lights around you. Maybe you have a flashlight if you need it, but turn it off right now. And imagine that you're looking at what appears to be the North Star in the sky. It's bright. It's so bright it almost eclipses the moon. And as you start to take a few deep breaths, it's almost as if the stars come closer to you or the earth moves closer to the stars. And what you actually realize is that you're ascending. Your body is connected to earth, but you're getting closer to the star that you see. And as it starts to shine brightly in the sky, you realize this isn't just star energy. This is source. This is you. This is the world. It's all of that. And as you connect to it, it takes your breath away in the best possible way. You do something like that. And as you do that, it's a reminder to breathe. So let's breathe. Let's catch our breath, okay? Take that deep sigh. Like you caught your breath, it was taken away, then you took it back, now you caught your breath, now let it go. Sigh. And imagine as you sigh that the star energy it's all around you. It's streaming through you, every chakra, especially your heart, and there's this feeling of warmth and that you are actually home, that you are safe, that you are protected, that you are home. It's a warm blanket of light through your body. And it's connecting you all the way from the source. You're at the source now, all the way back to your body on earth. Take a moment and feel that connection. See it from the farthest reaches of your imagination and this known galaxy and universe, all the way back to that tiny little point on earth. I want you to take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to gently, it's almost like you're on a river of light. You're surfing back to your body, but you're still connected to source and you'll never lose or forget that connection again. You're traveling as light as a feather as you go back into your third eye, traveling back into your body. Feel that there's a realignment. We talked about it, now we're doing it. You're snapping back into the grid. In this moment, everything's okay. In this moment, you know who you are. You haven't forgotten why you came to this planet. In this moment, you know that you are powerful, capable, and ready for something amazing to happen. One last breath. Welcome home. Welcome back. All right, I want to take a couple of moments here just to say thank you. Thanks for being an amazing community. It really is a community that we've built here over 11 years. So thank you for showing up consistently. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to show a little bit of more support in this moment in time, you can do so through a sticker, through membership, by simply subscribing, by joining me elsewhere if you'd like to. But I want to take a couple moments here to recognize everybody, just for showing up first and foremost, but also for those of you that gave back a little bit more, I'm going to say thank you in real time here. So, okay, to the following. Thank you for your contributions in helping us make the goal today. Colette, thank you for being a member and for the sticker. DAS, SAI, Saka, thank you very much for your contribution and for being a member. Ann Walk, thank you as well. PJ Good 75, right back at you. All of these are members that gave stickers. Again, DAS, SAI, SACKHA. I don't know what all of that is, but thank you for your sticker as well, and also for giving a membership too. So you shared the love with somebody. PJ Good, you gave several stickers in a row here, so I appreciate that. 1, 2, 3. I hearted all of them. Thank you very much. 4 or 5, you did several. Colette, thank you as well for helping me with a couple of stickers in a row. We have a gifted membership times 10 from Jeannie, it looks like, with a bunch of X's around it. So thank you so much, Jeannie, for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate you. Let's see. Leslie, thank you for the sticker. More from PJ Good. PJ Good, you did the lion's share there. I appreciate it. Anwalk, again, thank you. Colette, again, thank you. PJ, also getting the #1 contributor. Thank you. Let's see. Aisha, thank you. Let's see. All of these are stickers. Another one from PJ, much appreciation. PJ, you kind of like, thank you. Just repeated stickers from PJ. I appreciate it. Heather, thank you as well for your assistance here. Teresa, thank you for being a member and for giving a sticker. And then welcome to the 5 members that I was able to bring in. PJ again. A lot of people owe PJ gratitude for helping me get to the goal for the 30 stickers. Let's see. Donna, thank you very much for your contribution today. And I appreciate it. You're #3 contributor as well. Let's see. Ranubi, thank you very much for your contribution. Blessings to you as well, to Sunny Soraya, or Sorella. I appreciate you. Casey and Bloom, thanks for being a member and for giving a contribution. New member here in Davina with 4 4s afterwards. Thank you. Butterfly 921, thanks for being a member and giving a sticker. We have an anniversary here with, is it Michelle Stanley, 4163, 29 months of membership. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Yolanda and Marianne, both giving stickers. More stickers from Leslie. Also, thank you for being a member. Shelly, a sticker, and also thank you for being a member. Welcome back to Margaret. It's good to have you here. Thank you for rejoining as a member. Georgia, Daz, Colette, and Ann Walk, members giving stickers multiple times. Thank you again. Created by Deanne, is it? Thank you very much for your sticker. Georgia, again, a sticker and a member. Davina 444, thanks for giving a sticker after being a new member. I appreciate that. Lenny, thank you very much for your contribution. Heather W, multiple stickers today. Thank you. Let's see. Hande, I think it is, or Hande. Thank you for rejoining as a member. Let's see. Rebecca, thank you for 21 months, almost 2 full years of membership. Weekly request to create community for. I'm not going to do a community board because there's too much moderation with it. We'll do something in the new year, but I think what we would do instead is something like the meditation practice where we can all show up. The reason I don't do a community board is it's just people post whatever, and I would need a moderator just to look at that. I don't know what the community board really functions as here on YouTube, but to me it seems bizarre. So until I get a better handle on that, or until they have better community moderation, I hear the request, but we'll do it in a different way. I think it'll be like showing up together, that kind of community. So if you want to do that, yes, perfection. But if it's just the community tab, I don't really know what that, I don't see many creators that do it for that reason, because to me, it seems like a Reddit page. So I'm aware of it, but I'm not yet on board with it. We'll see where it goes and how they develop it. Okay. Cheryl, but I appreciate the request. We'll do it in another and a better way. So yes, however, we'll try something different. Does that make sense? All right, Cheryl, thank you for your sticker. Let's see. Also, Michelle, 58 months. Get out of town, but don't get out of town. Thank you for many years of support. Always appreciate you. Thank you very much. The Austin 8025, thank you for your sticker. 50 months, another long-time member here. My Little Marjorie, thank you very much, and I'm glad that this was inspiring. Holly, thank you for your sticker, and Rafaela, thank you for your sticker too. Much appreciation. All right, just checking here. Oh, wow, we got another one here from Kim, and a very generous one at that. Thank you so much. And then, yes, I hope the community thing, you're welcome. We will figure out how to do it in a way that is sustainable. The reason that I've kind of held back from just a regular community tab is because that's also an invitation for people to just go like hog wild sometimes. So I need to make sure that it was very much controlled and makes sense. So I would rather do activities, programs, and things where we can show up consistently, kind of like this, but in a shorter version. So if it's a meditation practice, we could show up for like 10 minutes every day for 31 days. To me, that's community, right? So we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out with you. And maybe I'll put a post together asking for ways that we can build the community. So yes, but let's figure out a different path on that. All right, everyone. Again, a final reminder to follow me on social media if you haven't already. Subscribe and share this video with someone as well. It helps more than you might imagine. All right, everyone. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. Let's do a different color, maybe some purple confetti. I'll be back again, same time, same place next week. And later today, we'll have the last 2 videos out for December. And then in all the January videos are going to be a little bit different format, but it's just going to be 1 month. I heard many of you saying, I don't like 2 months. I was doing it because I wasn't well and I needed some time. So message heard, and I always respond to that. So thank you so much. All right, take care, folks. I'll see you soon. Until next time, wishing you all the best.